Hola todos y bienvenido to everyone tuning in into our Instagram live for episode 5 of Voces En Vivo. For those joining us for the first time, this is Circulo Castellano. Our community is dedicated to celebrating the Spanish language and Hispanic culture. Today's theme is Student Spotlights, exploring the Spanish language experience. We are moving beyond the textbooks to talk about the real, messy, and beautiful journey of learning Spanish. Joining me today are two fantastic guests. We have Aryan, who brings a wild mix of interest and is in his second year at Jamia, and Rashid, who is in his final stretch at AMU and already stepping into the real world of translation and interpretation. And a little later, my co host Saurabh will be jumping in to turn up the heat with our rapid fire round. Muchas gracias to both of you for joining us here.
Yeah.
Hola a todos, muchas gracias también por tenerme aquí en este como...
Muchas, muchas gracias, Akriti, por invitarnos aquí. Es un placer.
Thank, thank you so
Sí.
much. So let's dive right into the questions and the first segment of our webinar. To kick things off for both of you, my first question will be if your Spanish learning journey so far was a movie genre or a TV show, what would it be? A dramatic telenovela, a survival thriller, or a comedy of errors? Any of you could start with that.
I would like to go ahead first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been a journey of errors for me, really. Each time I made an error, I made sure that it wasn't wasted. I made sure of it because I had to learn from every single mistake that I committed. So it's been a journey that has made me quite strong just because I committed errors. So a journey of errors for me. Go ahead, Rashid.
That's
Oh,
interesting to know.
okay.
And what about you,
Yeah.
Rashid?
Honestly, for me, it feels like a mix of survival thriller and comedy of errors. In the beginning, I was just trying to survive, understanding basic grammar, remembering words, not mixing up tenses, conjugations. At the same time, I made a lot of funny mistakes while speaking, which sometimes felt embarrassing but helped me to learn. Over time, speaking with errors with the help of Spanish friends, those small struggling moments slowly built my confidence. So now it is much more manageable.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That is actually very interesting to know. Now, as you
Yes.
was just talking about, speaking of comedy errors, let's talk about things that you just mentioned. That the mistakes that you made in the early stage that both of you made. So, what to both of you? What is the most embarrassing or funny mistake you made when you first started learning Spanish?
Go ahead, Aaron.
Could I go ahead?
Yes.
For me, I had this, I would say, not such a wise mistake of making errors with some of the verbs. I used to make errors like making them in uh, in a this thing. Um I'd use the verb correr in an infinitive form, but I'd also use it for correr
Yes, yes.
se. It's a
I
terrible
can
thing.
understand.
It's a terrible
Yes,
translation for that. It's something very
yes,
vulgar
yes,
and yeah, something that any Spaniard or Spanish speaking person could hear, he or she would absolutely be um, in, in
yes,
total
yes.
horror if the person were to hear me. So yeah, this is what I had as my bad experience. And you, Rashid?
Yes, it happened with me. One of my most embarrassing mistake was when I was practicing Spanish with one of my Mexican friend. It was the time when I just started speaking Spanish. I was unaware of most of the words in Spanish. My friends, she asked me like, "Mi cara se ve arrugada," and that time I didn't get what is the meaning of arrugada. At that time, like to maintain the flow, but I say, see, okay, yes, and I start laughing, and she cut the call at the moment. I didn't understand and call her again. but she didn't receive the call. Then I thought did I say something wrong and search the word. I apologized to her. But she blocked me after that, and that was the time. I never forget the meaning of that like word arugala. And now I'm trying to be sure about the meaning of the word before speaking.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Rashid, but that honestly, it happens to the best of us, and that is
Yes,
the most of the classic mistake that you could make. And you
yes,
know, the positive thing that came out of it, that now you will never forget that word. So
yes.
that is a
I will not
positive that you
never.
get. Yeah.
Arugala is stuck in my mind that from that time only.
Yeah, so true. And now, coming to the next question of mine, coming to you, Aryan, you have such a wild mix of interest. As you mentioned, you have interest in geology, ecology, cooking. So, out of all the things you could study, how did Spanish win you over? Like, did you fell in love with it while cooking, while listening to music?
Yeah, it could be an answer for that. I was in love with Spanish music. As a child, I used to listen to a lot of songs from all Spanish-speaking countries, and mainly it motivated me to study the language. So as a child, I studied it at a very slow pace, like a sentence a day, but still it made a mountain out of me now right now. But uh, after the examinations of CUET, lo que me pasó, the thing that happened to me was I didn't get selected for zoology. That is what I wanted to do, zoology. But Spanish was my second option that I had as my backup. And so I went along with my Spanish. And after a year studying linguistics in the University of Delhi, Rajouri Garden, what's the name of the college? Rajdhani College. So after studying a year in Rajdhani College, I um, went to Jamia. I gave the examinations once again, and yeah, that's all. That's how I ended up here.
Honestly, I think it was very fateful, and I do believe that a lot of people that have been on the show before has mentioned that their Spanish introduction was very accidental and are doing really great in life. So I believe that was a fate for you to become really great person in life in the future. Moving on, that
Mhm.
is really interesting to know. And you, Rashid, could you like take us back to year one? And like, what was the exact moment you realized that Spanish isn't just a subject for you, but it is a career path?
Actually, it didn't happen in the first year, but when I was in my second year, when I was able to actually hold a simple conversation in Spanish and be understood. It wasn't perfect, but it felt real. Until then, I was just like another subject, but that moment made me like realize that this language could actually connect me with more people, more culture, and more opportunity beyond the classroom also. That's when it clicked me for like the Spanish wasn't just something I was studying. It was something I could build career around. That's why how I changed my mind.
That is a very factful explanation, honestly, because I do believe that most of the people who do comes into linguistics think about the broader diversity of career that it will provide them, and also it helps that you speak a foreign language that a lot of people cannot speak. So I remember as a personal case for mine when I'm still learning a foreign language. So the main reason was behind it that if I'm still speaking to a friend, the other person beside me might not know what I'm speaking, so I can speak anything I want. So yeah,
Yes.
that is a little bit of something that I believe that may be relatable to some of the people who are like learning a new language. And
We are
yeah, talking about
yes.
yeah. So
Yes, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, talking about the Spanish plus English mixture, there's a very famous word that is like Spanglish brain beat. So, do you guys ever find yourself accidentally responding to your family or friends in Hindi or English? but using Spanish grammar or words that has that has been embarrassing or hard to comprehend when having a conversation with a person who does not know Spanish.
Um,
Aryan.
Honestly speaking, it's something that occurs to me daily. I go to the gym, I have to work out, and every single person that is around me, I at that time can judge that it's the person might not know Spanish, which is obvious. But uh, lo que me pasó, lo que me pasa todos los días, yo me साथ होता है daily. The thing that happens to me daily is that by accident or something, maybe I am thinking about the language or thinking in the language. There's a voice in my head now in the language. So this is what slips out. Spanish words like "hey, que quieres," "cuántos te quedan," which would mean that how many sets are you left with, and this all. This occurs to me daily. With my mother, I can talk about anything, but she won't understand in Spanish, and now she gives me like this face. "ये क्या बोला इसने? What has he said?" So yeah, it's something that happens
Yeah.
with me a lot of days, a lot of times.
Yeah, that is
Yes,
very
it was
relatable.
yes, it was happening to me with me because when I was practicing Spanish a lot in my second year, that time. Um, right now, not I'm not feeling that much, but yeah, actually, it happens with me. Like I would like to admit something like sometimes my brain mixes everything, and sometimes I don't even realize it. Like I will say like something. मैं अभी आता हूँ इस पे और randomly I add like pero, vale, sí, in normal conversation. My friends look just look at me like, what are you even saying? It's it's a bit embarrassing but also funny. And so how Spanish is like settle in my mind every time.
Yeah, that is
Well,
actually
that
very
that is
true.
quite
Yeah,
common. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
want
Yes,
to add here
yes, it
something
is quite.
like um,
Yes,
that is very common. And in my case, it has happened in the opposite sides. For example, if I have to speak Spanish, I will get English words in my mind, and if I have to speak
yes,
English, I'll get Spanish words in my mind.
Yeah,
So
happened
that's
to
very common, I would
yes,
say.
yes,
True, very
and
true.
sometimes it's Hindi that slips out among Spanish speakers.
yes,
I'm asking
Indeed.
something in Spanish to them, but something just clicks on to me in my mind, and
yes.
I go ahead like क्या 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 मतलब है उसका, and the person's media like why is this person even speaking to me in Hindi? Yeah, it happens in both. We
Yes, it
mix
has.
all the languages, and with the
Yeah.
voices in our head, yeah, that it continues with us daily
Yes,
for the language learners, I
it
would say.
happens. Yes,
So true. Like it's like your brain forgets that which file to open,
yeah.
and it just starts opening every file that is there, and yeah, you start blabbering any word that comes to your mind when it comes to this such situation like that. Yeah, that has
Yes.
been very interesting to know. Now, moving on, since Rashid, as you were just saying that you are thinking of working into the, looking into more to the professional side of
Yes.
pursuing Spanish as a career, and you already have your foot into the door with real world translation that you mentioned that you did. So, what is one thing that the university textbooks absolutely do not teach you about using Spanish in the real world?
Honestly, textbooks don't prepare you for how real people actually speak. In class, everything is very slow, clear, and teachers make you understand everything, and you get time to think. But in real situation, people speak fast, use slangs, and don't always follow the proper grammar also. Like sometime. I remember one time during a conversation, I just paused for a moment because it didn't sound like a Spanish I had learned. But that's when I understood that it's not about perfect sentence. You have to like quickly understand the meaning and respond. That's something you only learn with real experience.
Yeah, that is actually very true. In fact, I believe that happens in every language. Like in English, also, we learn a lot of things, but we do not follow the exact rules. And if a person whose first language or even second language is not English, then it's very hard for them to understand that and, like convey what they're trying to say or understand. Uh, I believe, did we lose Aryan?
No,
Yeah, I'm right here.
right now he's
I'm right
back.
here.
Okay, yeah. Actually, my next question is for you only, so I thought that maybe you had a technical issue. But yeah, to you, Aryan, do you have any advice for the first years who are terrified of the verb conjugations that you were mentioning, specifically the subjuncting? So, like, what is your secret weapon or study hack for them to memorize things without losing the mind?
For me, well, it's about writing things that we see regularly, as in what have we done today, what are we doing right now, what would we like to do, what we habitually do. So all this activity is to be written in Spanish, and this is how you are to get acquainted with every single verb there is in Spanish. And the trick that I use in that is my secret that I'm going to spill on to all of you is that each time I get across any new word or new verb, I quickly write them down, and after jotting them down, I have to make sentences of it. So after using the verbs in a sentence for all six of the persons, this is only how that you are gonna get a bit acquainted with the pattern of the language, at least the conjugations. Well, if you are to learn the conjugations in a day, thinking that I'll do it overnight, you're gonna fall. It's gonna be a disaster. Every single thing is gonna confuse you, and you're not gonna remember any single one of those conjugations that you have just gone through. So yeah, you have to do it daily basis, and you have to jot down every single one that's new to you. So this is how I study.
That is actually a very clever advice for people who are, learning Spanish for the very first time or are in the beginning phase of that. Because I believe Jyoti in the previous webinar also mentioned that if you are learning a language, then you should at least give the language 15 minutes of your time every day, be it any occasion, be it any festival, be it any gathering, but you have to give that language 15 minutes of time. And I believe you also said that same. So I believe, yeah. So the
Just
people who are listening to this right now, if you are learning Spanish or any other foreign language, then do give 15 minutes of your time every day to the grammar and to the speaking, writing, and every other rule that is there to learn about. Now, let's get a little bit more adventurous for a moment. And to both of you, if you could magically teleport to any Spanish speaking country tomorrow for a 1 month study exchange, where are you going and what is the first thing that you're doing there?
Go ahead, Aryan, before you.
for me, I'd say I'd like to go to Spain, especially the Andalusian part, any part in Andalusia, the southern part. And the first thing that I'm going to do is get get into one of those horse riding schools that teach you how to ride a horse like a caballero, that is a gentleman. And I'd like to dance with the people, uh, el flamenco. I'd like to dance with the people. I've once tried to dance, and I'm a terrible person at this, but yeah, I hope to learn one of these. And of course, the most important thing that I have to do as a comedian, as a person who eats a lot, is yeah, try the gastronomy. Try el gazpacho y todos los mariscos y todos los platos típicos que hay allí. Whichever typical dishes are there, I'd say. Yeah, these things are going to be the things that I do first as soon as I land.
That is very
Okay.
interesting to know. Yeah. And what about you, Rashid?
For me, honestly, for the language and the accent, I would choose Colombia. I really like their accent. Uh, I really like the way people speak, especially the accent from Medellin itself and from Paisa community. It sounds very clear and very expressive, and I would love to like experience that in real life once in my life. And first thing I would be doing there is go straight to the nearby street and grab some fresh like arepas and I start chatting with the people, laughing, making friends, and roaming around the city.
That is
Yes.
also a very good, travel itinerary for both of you. Okay, I do have a bonus question. And what about you, Saurabh? What are you? What is your dream destination? That if the same situation is for you, where will you go? And what is the first thing that you might do?
Well, I like to take challenges, and nothing will suit better than Chile. You know the accent.
Yes, I
So
know.
I I
The first
I
friend,
just I
yes,
know
the
everybody
first friend I
hates.
made was from Chile. She was from Chile.
Saurabh, you're so over challenging the worst case scenario there is.
Yeah,
That's
that is my only sole reason to go to Chile, learning the
that's
accent.
like
Yes.
the arch
And
nemesis of Spanish, really. I'd say arch nemesis,
I,
the final
Wow.
just like
boss.
I will conquer the Hispanic world just with the accent.
Nice. All the best to all three of you to your amazing destinations and amazing journey. And I do believe to see maybe three of you, if we are connected in the future to your dream destinations and your dream countries. And now coming to the next segment of our webinar, which is the culture and community segment. So this is gonna be very fun. Here we will be talking about scenarios and how each of you could think and behave in that scenario. And you can also participate in this, sort of. So my last question will be to you too. So to all three of you, actually, not just the two of you, you are hosting a cultural exchange dinner for Seculo Castellano, and you have to cook an Indian dish, but explain the recipe entirely in Spanish to guests from Latin America. So, which Indian dish do you choose that has similar ingredients to Latin American cuisine, and how do you pitch it to them?
Could I go ahead first?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah, please. I
always,
was just about to
always.
say that.
So
Yeah, yeah.
as a person from Varanasi, Banarsi, I'd say I would prepare the Banarsi chaat, that is golgappas and with all the tomato chops. So it's something that I have as a child prepared for just fun. It's so like it's so unskippable for me as a child that I have to prepare this at first for any of the guests or any event that I'm gonna do. And for the explaining part, I could easily go ahead and explain all the ingredients, what we have to do, and it's even very relatable. It's like nachos con todos los vegetales y tamales, as in the water of tamale, no, that drink that we had, or the agua de horchata. We could take an example from that, and yeah, this would be my dish.
We have
El
something
That
common,
is,
And
agua
yours?
de tamarindo.
yeah.
Ajá, tamarindo, sí, eso.
And yeah, what
About
about
you,
you,
sir?
Rashid?
About me, I would choose biryani because it is my favorite, and it has rice, tomatoes, like onion, chilies, potatoes also. Some in some biryanis they use whole like explosion of spices, super similar to the arroz con pollo or paella. That people in Latin America already love. While I am cooking, I can explain the entire recipe step by step in Spanish to the guest because already I have done with some of my friends in Latin America. So, and I can pitch it to make them excited to try it. Like, amigos, imaginen una paella, pero con la alma de la India. Es aromático, picante, justo como les gusta y cada bocado como es una fiesta. Por favor, pruebas una vez y una vez que prueben este biryani van a pedir la receta de este biryani para llevarla de la vuelta a tu país. Bienvenido a la afición más
I'm just
deliciosa
getting
entre India y
hungry.
Latinoamérica.
Uh,
Yes.
I'm just getting hungry
Biryani.
listening to that. That is
Yeah.
very amazing. And yeah, what
Yes.
about you, Saurabh?
Well, coming from Delhi, I would say chole bhature. Yeah, I would suggest that thing, and nobody can deny that. Even though it is unhealthy, even though you're getting fat, even though you are gaining every inch of your body is expanding, but you cannot resist chole bhature. And
Yes,
So
me
how
too.
will you?
so is
Yeah.
so is with those coming from outside. Not only the Hispanics, but every foreigner would love chole bhature, and explaining to them is very easy. We just need to tell, pruébalo y luego me digas cómo te sientes. Just eat it and just let me know how you feel, and that's all I would explain them.
Amazing, amazing. All three of you have very distinct and very amazing recipes to talk about. Honestly, the connection between our spices and their ingredients is also so underrated and
Yes.
so very common. So this is gonna be a very fun get together, and I hope that it happens in the future very soon. Now coming to the next scenario, let's see how you guys are good at selling this passion to others. So if you have 60 seconds to convince a STEM student, someone who only cares about coding or math, to join a Spanish cultural event, and you have no budget, just your words, what is your pitch?
Well, I'd say if you'd like to communicate with more than 33 people from 33 countries that speak one or the other way Spanish, yeah, go ahead and start learning. Even you could go ahead with YouTube lessons or Duolingo, or you could take private lessons from a Spanish teacher in India. But yeah, by all means, I'd like to convince them, telling them that they could convince or be in a kind of conversation with people from more than 33 countries more. So yeah, it's a wide opportunity that I know it can be just overthrown just by someone from any kind of studies, I'd say.
That's amazing to know. And what about you, Rashid?
I would start like Spanish is one of the most speaking language globally. So even in tech, it opens doors to international teams and opportunities. But honestly, forget about like all that for a second. The event itself is actually pretty fun. That's music, food, small interactive things. You like, I would say like you might end up learning a few phrases without even trying. Last time when the people from my colleagues also, when we are like listening a song, they were just casually picking up the words and and laughing and like talking about that. And I mean, it's different vibe from usual routine for them. uh, they are not debugging the codes for once, and they are like just meeting people, hearing different accents, maybe even realizing they can understand more than they thought. N- No pressure at all, because Spanish is a very romantic language. People start learning once after listening. So worst case, they can like spend the 1 hour chilling with friends and trying something new. I would
Yeah.
say like this.
Yeah, actually, that is an advantage only if they learn a new language, not just in career, as you just mentioned, but also in fun and very nice,
Yes,
adventurous sort of way. And what about you,
yes.
Saurav? What is your opinion on this?
Okay. Instead of pitching them directly, I would just invite them to the DIA which will be held on 25th April at Instituto Cervantes, and they will just fall in love with the culture. So there's a strong possibility as soon as they enter the room, they will just forget everything what they were doing.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can second back that because I was new to this language and the culture, and I did attend the event last year, and it was very amazing, especially the food and the drinks that I got to try. As you just mentioned, paya, and I also got to try a lot of other different drinks. So it was very amazing, and obviously meet a lot of really good people and talk to them and see actually be a part of that event, and it feels like you're a part of that country, a part of their world also. So I believe that is you feel a little bit more included in a lot of stuff. So I think that also helps in the future, and it also helps in a person's own personality development. So that is another thing that that can get them through the door, and yeah, it can like maybe sell them and everything else. So yeah, now coming to our next scenario, let's test your survival instincts with a what if scenario, where we were talking about that if any of you accidentally take the wrong bus and end up in a tiny rural village in Andalusia or deep in the Andes. Your phone is dead and the locals have a very heavy regional accent. So what are the first three survival phrases you use to get back to the city?
Well, as a place that I have always dreamed of going to, Andalusia, I would absolutely love to be in this accident, as I would say. So the first thing that I'd say over there would be, oye, me puede ayudar con las direcciones. Estoy perdido, estoy buscando otro autobús que me puede llevar a esta ciudad o esta región y por favor, ayúdame. So I think this would be quite the things that I'd say at the first level. And it would be enough, I reckon.
That's nice. And what about you, Rashid?
For me, I think it would be, I would first say, hola, perdón, me perdí, señor, ¿dónde estoy exactamente? Puedes decírmelo, primeramente, porque yo no sé a dónde estoy. And second phrase would be like, ¿cómo se llega a la ciudad más cercana? ¿Cómo puedo coger el próximo autobús o taxi? And the third would be like, uh, ¿tiene teléfono? Necesito llamar a mi amigo. And that's all. Muchísimas gracias.
That is also very nice to know. And what
Yes.
about you, Saurabh?
Okay, so firstly, if I get lost in that area, I would just say, oh, soy una persona que, que vive aquí. Yo vivo aquí. Soy Andalusia.
Goodbye.
Because I would not wish to come. Because I would not wish to come out from there, right? Once going to that culture, I was submerged in
Yes.
it.
Yes.
So there's no coming back.
Very fun.
I will.
Very,
Where is,
yeah.
Totally agree.
¿Dónde está mi casa? Por favor, déjame saber.
That is very fun and
Yeah.
very. Both, all three of you had very interesting and very fun answers, and it was really nice to know how we will handle such situations. Now, talking about, moving beyond survival and talking about actual reality of. The extent of learning the language in India and how it is in Indian classrooms and universities. So, as students, how important it is to have a community or a safe space like Circolo Castellano outside of the classroom to just practice and make mistakes without being graded or without being judged for it. Aryan, you could go first.
I could answer the question by saying that I don't really think that a group or a safe place is really necessary for a person, I would say that is a little bit secondary. The first thing is a person's first effort. A personal effort is needed here, and involvement in the language, speaking in the language, thinking in the language, writing in the language, and doing every single activity in the language, I'd say, is the only way that you are going to get yourself acquainted with the language. And for building a community, you have to expect that they also know, they also have to have a level to talk to you in Spanish. Mostly that you'd find in our country is that despite having like los hispanohablantes entre nosotros, like all the Spanish speaking people amongst yourself, they choose to speak in Hindi. So it's a little halfway there convincing that really you need a group to uh, get fluent or get acquainted with the language. That's what I that's what I think.
That is also a very valid point. And what about you, Rashid? What is your opinion on this?
Um, I think it is very important. In classroom, we are like very terrified of making mistakes because every error gets a red mark and affect your grade. Then, but real language, real connection, that only happens when you can speak freely, laugh at your own blunders, and try again without a pressure. And that's exactly what the community like Circulo Castellano Studies is doing, and a safe space where Spanish stop being a like subject and becomes a living, breathing way to connect with the people. You make mistakes, someone correct you with a smile, and suddenly you are actually communicating. That's where the confidence burn. That's where the friendship are made, and honestly, that's where you fall in love with the language all over again. And for all the students like me, we need to find or create that space in our like friendship, in our circle. It will transform our Spanish journey more than textbook, I think.
I believe that is also a very valid point. I believe both of you have a very valid point that both personal preference and personal, motivation is important, and as well as a group support is also important. It basically depends on what you as a person prefer and how you can learn and move forward. And any opinions on this matter, Saurabh? Since you are also a student in Spanish and you have a community, and but you also study by yourself, so I believe maybe you can
Mhm.
chime in and tell
Okay,
us your opinion.
sure. Thank you so much for this question, and I would like to spread one single message. I don't know if everyone thinks if it is correct or not, and this is what I have applied with my learning process. To be shameless. Just be shameless. Don't think about people who will be judging you, or they'll be thinking about how you speak or what is your accent. Just be shameless. Just speak what you want, however you wish to, and in what accent you want. Okay, that's the biggest key to learn. Once you learn, you can refine the skills later on.
That's a perfectly valid point and a valid suggestion as well. I do
I'd
believe
like
that
to add
yeah,
something to what Saurabh just said. A lion does not concern himself with the opinions of the sheep. That's what is supposed to be followed. Be a little bit
yeah.
a little bit shameless with the language. Use it whatever you like, however you like. Don't be so like overthinking. So that the other person that is going to hear you is going to judge you that if you have said it all right.
Mhm.
It's not like that. Just go ahead with this shameless, be it your personal space or in a group.
Yeah, very agreeing to that. Very true. That be it you are learning it as your personal space or in your personal space by yourself, or you are learning in a group. Just talk about it. Talk about to different people, and practice the language as much as you can. And if you cannot be shameless as much as the it is required, then follow Circulo Castellano, and we have a lot of fun, post and fun webinar series out there, and you can learn a lot about the language and the culture from our videos and from following us. So that was a promotion of our community. And now moving forward with the next question in the segment, looking at your own peers at Jamia and the AMU, since both of you are from different colleges, where do you see the future of Spanish language and Hispanic culture in India going in the next 5 to 10 years?
I would say it is going to tremendously increase, and as a result of the exposure that is now being put by the government into the schools. Uh, I think the government is also doing something regarding this. They're adding at least one foreign language in the school for the students to study
Yeah.
all the way till class 12. So yeah, it's a giant leap into a multicultural approach, but I don't really think that most people are going to get acquainted with another language, because to most people another language means another subject. They don't get it a feeling, they don't associate it with something being a life, a new perspective, or something that would give you more than anything, more opportunities to be in touch with more people. So yeah, it's a giant leap into a multicultural world, but I don't think really that most people will get acquainted with it. Sorry to say, but
Yeah.
yeah, I hope it is. But by all means, the exposure and whatever the government has done regarding this is gonna increase the culture, multiculturalism in India, and help others get a little bit acquainted with the Spanish cultures all around the world.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that is actually a very significant point, because I believe not just introducing the resource is important, but actually making it feasible and accessible is also important. But then again, in the start or in the very beginning, the process is always slow. And with time, people do start adapting new language, adapting new culture. So I believe maybe with time, people do start adapting this. And yeah, what about you, Rashid? What is your opinion on this?
I am really excited about it. Like in right now in AMU, Spanish is not no longer like normal subject like English or any other. But more and more students are choosing this Spanish or any foreign languages in my department. It is because they are real, that they understand that they see real career opportunities here in foreign languages and in Spanish especially. In the next 5 to 10 years, I believe they are going to see Spanish become the like top foreign language, because nowadays like Indians are the most of the Indians are like bilingual, speaking Spanish. In Delhi also, you can see in 10 out of 5 speak Spanish, and we will have uh, way more translation interpretation job, Hispanic culture. Uh, like we will not only watch on Netflix. It will be live, more salsa nights, food festivals, art exhibitions, and exchange programs. So communities like Circulo Castellano will grow into full blown cultural hub in that things.
I'm into that, and yeah, we did not pay him for the promotion, but yeah, we are very thankful for that unsponsored promotion, and it is very true actually, not just
Yes.
for a personal benefit, but it is very true that the beginning of this development has started, and people are getting to know about it, talking about it. It will definitely take some time, as Aryan mentioned, but we believe and we are very optimistic about it that in the upcoming future, more and more people are gonna get aware about the various diversity and opportunity that this language and learning different culture actually carries. So we are looking into a greater future for this. This has been such a wonderful and insightful conversation with all the three of you actually, and your answers has been very insightful, very illuminating, to be truly honest to me. But now I have to hand over to Saurabh, but this is going to be another very fun rapid fire round. So muchas gracias to both of you for those incredible points. And yeah, I am handing over the mic to Saurabh. Could you please take over for the rapid fire round?
Yeah, sure, Akriti. Thank you so much. Okay. Bueno, pues vosotros habéis estáis esperando cuando vais a hablar español, pues ahora es el momento.
Vale.
Bueno,
Estamos listos, no hay problema.
seguimos directamente a la primera pregunta. Pues, ¿España o Latinoamérica? Para
España.
viajar.
Sí,
¿España?
para mí España. Sí, quiero ver la historia en vivo. He escuchado mucha historia sobre España. Sí,
Bueno, sí. Tiene una historia muy rica y me
sí.
encanta.
Sí,
España.
monumentos,
3.
historias.
Además, puedes ir a otros lados para explorar toda la Europa, ¿no?
Ujú. Sí, por supuesto, pero España es nuestro énfasis.
Algo diferente.
Ajá.
Sí.
El primero.
Bueno.
El primero.
Sí.
Sí. Bueno, seguimos a la otra. Cuando te olvidas de una palabra hablando, pues créalo o invéntalo en Spanglish o como hágalo.
Oh,
Yo diría que lo recuerdo como una lección simplemente, o si no es una lección para mí, va a ser un mistake. So, yeah, a mistake for me. Un error para mí.
okay. Yo hago ambas cosas, como manos con locos y Spanglish ambos. Ambas cosas. Como siempre trabajar.
Está bien, pues para practicar pronunciación, ¿qué hacéis vosotros? ¿Hablar con el espejo o cantar?
Personalmente, yo canto en español. A mí me encanta cantar en español.
De acuerdo.
Para practicar, sí, para practicar actualmente ninguno. Es que cuando estaba practicando español, mi profesor una vez dijo que para ser perfecto en pronunciación tienes que leer mucho. Entonces prefiero leer textos en voz más alta. Y eso me ayuda más en la pronunciación.
Bueno, muchas gracias por esta sugerencia.
Sí.
Lo usaré, por supuesto.
Sí.
Bueno,
pues
la tercera. No. El número 4, sí. Si el español fuera la comida india, ¿cómo fuera? ¿Comida picante o algo dulce?
Algo dulce, personalmente. Yo tengo un sweet tooth y por eso no puedo dejar ninguna oportunidad de probar algo dulce.
Bueno, pues,
yo diría como picante, como en biryani. Como el biryani. Como
bueno,
siempre.
Para mí sería ambos,
Chole bhature.
porque sí, chole bhature es una obligación en Delhi, pero luego
Sí, por eso
necesitamos
estoy
gulab
diciendo.
jamun también. Pero luego
Sí.
necesitamos gulab jamun o lassi, ¿no?
Sí, de acuerdo.
Seguimos
Totalmente.
con la otra. Bueno, ok, pues no sé si vosotros pues no sé si veis Netflix o no, pues si úsalo Netflix por la noche, ¿qué sugerencias tienen?
Para ver Yo diría
Sí,
Narcos.
Narcos.
Narcos. Es
¿Tú,
como
Aryan?
perfecto.
Y para
Mm,
mí, La Casa de Papel es algo para los adultos, pero ya tiene bastante años para ver alguna serie como así. Y por mí, La Casa de Papel.
bueno, um, me quedo bien
¿Para tú?
me quedo bien
¿Para tú,
con
Saurabh?
pues cuando empecé mi historia de aprender español, pues encontré una serie que se llama Pablo Escobar, el patrón de mal. Esa es una serie que yo quería ver otra vez
¿Sabes?
de
Me
nuevo.
gusta la introducción de Pablo Escobar cuando en la primera esquina él dijo que, ¿sabes quién soy? Soy Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. Este
Sí,
parte me gusta mucho.
esta parte es de Narcos, pero el
Sí,
patrón de
Narcos,
mal
en
es
Narcos.
algo diferente.
Ok.
Tiene casi 72 episodios.
Ujú, mucho.
Bueno, sí, muchísimo. Bueno, seguimos con la otra. Sí, la mayor batalla de pronunciación. J o doble R.
Doble R
J
a veces.
a veces. J me cuesta pronunciar la J a veces. Estoy muy confundido cómo pronunciar las palabras como jarra o jimón o jamón, eso es. Pero ya
Sí,
tengo bastante experiencia para pronunciarlos en la manera correcta.
sí. Doble R. Es que anteriormente mis amigos me ayudaron mucho sobre esto. Doble R.
Ujú.
R. Me hagan pronunciarlo muchísimas veces. Hazlo otra vez, otra vez, otra vez.
Sí,
Es
sí,
antes de ser perfecto. Sí,
sí, esa es la única cosita que yo, yo he hecho un problema con, pero el problema que encontré conmigo es de el acento.
sí,
¿Sabes? El acento cuando estaba trabajando con la Embajada de Chile, pues había una palabra
genial.
pérgola con
Sí,
E, E con un acento. Y repetimos otra vez, de
sí,
nuevo,
muchísimas veces. Sí, para
muchas
ser perfecto
veces,
tenemos que repetirlo.
para decir pérgola, no
Mm.
pérgola. Eh,
Sí,
esa es una experiencia muy
Sí, tenemos que
inolvidable.
repetirlo una y otra vez,
sí.
y así solamente podemos pronunciarlo en la manera
Manera.
correcta. ¿No crees?
Bueno, ah, el mayor dolor de cabeza, traducir modísimos o traducir jerja, los slangs.
Modísimos, creo.
Ujú.
Modísimos
Para
son
mí,
como
traducir
muchos.
los slangs, porque son diferentes culturas y para nada pueden entenderlo directamente. Hay que, para mí, yo les explico a los demás que de qué se trata el chiste o el, esto, y ya, así lo hago.
Ok, ok.
Para
Bueno,
ti,
ok.
Sora.
Para mí, pues traducir algo que yo no sé me cuesta mucho. Bueno, podría ser slang o modísimos, cualquier
Sí,
cosa. Pero slangs es una cosa que no, am, con mi humano, con mi alma, yo quería decir que slangs o slangs o jergas son una cosa que no deberíamos traducir.
Sí,
Sí,
hasta que no sabemos.
sí, porque no, es que slangs a veces pierden el alma que contienen,
Sí,
¿no?
pero sí,
Si
yo sé,
traduciéramos.
pero algunas veces tenemos también slang, pero la misma slang está en español también. Podemos usar
Sí,
lo mismo que tenemos en la India, en
sí,
nuestro
estamos,
lengua. Así,
estamos bien con eso,
podemos
pero
hacer eso.
um,
Sí,
¿cómo va a decir qué padre?
qué
No,
padre,
no sé. Sí,
yo uso mucho, oh, Dios mío, Dios mío.
Dios mío. Pero es que podemos traducir y usamos en nuestro idioma también. Pues, qué padre. Esa es una cosa, no es una
Sí,
cosa que podemos traducir, es una emoción y las emociones
sí, no podemos
no podemos traducir.
slangs,
Y
idiomas y slangs no podemos nunca, no podemos traducirlo, pero solo
para
podemos,
mí,
como,
yo uso Jesús, María, José cuando
Eso es
alguien
maravilloso.
se equivoca de algo.
Esa es la cosa. Bueno, seguimos con la otra. Pues antes de un examen oral que hagáis, pues tomar 3 tazas de café o respirar profundo.
yo respiro profundo antes de examen y aunque a
Ujú.
veces termino con 3 cafés también, igual, cuando hay mucha presión.
Bueno,
Sí,
tú,
Ah, para mí, porque yo no prefiero el café, yo siempre lo doy una respira profunda y ya, estoy lista para todo lo que voy a encontrar en mi journey.
sí.
bueno. Also, to Akriti as well, I would open this question a bit. So, if it is about Viva or something which is like a presentation or maybe this webinar, what would you prefer? 3 cups of coffee or just a deep breath?
Definitely a deep breath.
Deep.
I believe that if I do anything else, then I will vomit. So yeah, no, a deep breath works for me best.
Okay.
That was a perfect answer.
Yes. After taking deep breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way better to take a deep breath than eating something and
Yes.
making our nervous system a bit more pressurized, which can fuse it with our
But
gastric
honestly,
point.
sometimes it's more like a sigh than a deep breath. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
Like you
true.
give out
Exactly.
a sigh, and it's a sigh that yeah, everything's gonna go all the way south, and yeah, let's see how we're gonna cagar nosotros.
Yeah, and we cannot forget all the mantras that we, chant at that time. So don't forget that.
Totalmente
That is very
contigo.
important for us Indians, I believe.
Bueno,
But when I get nervous, I eat more.
Yeah, that's it's very true. That is a
Yes.
very common habit, and yeah, very. But yeah, I believe we eat in every occasion. Like eating is something that we do. If we are nervous, we are
Yes.
happy, we are
Happy,
sad.
we are sad, everything.
Yeah. I mean, we are a foodie. I would say Indians, and is that very common with the Hispanic culture also? Are they
Yes.
very foodie in general, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
yeah,
mostly
Saurabh.
in Latin America, I'd say mostly there are the comillones, the cabus of those places. But yeah, but there's one thing more. There might be stress eating or something like that. As you said, you eat when you get nervous. So yeah, it's like it's like that.
True. True.
just a second, guys. I have encountered some technical issues. My camera is not visible. Okay, so moving on to the next question. El autocorrector de tu celular. Un una cosa que te salves o desastre de Spanglish.
Podría ser salvavidas. Ayuda mucho en mi, como, por acento que no podemos poner, ¿no? Es como algo cuando escribimos muy rápidamente, no podemos tener acentos y ahí ayuda autocorrecto, mucho.
Bueno,
Salvavidas.
perdóname, Aryan, pero quiero decir que somos perezosos, ¿no?
Sí,
Básicamente,
totalmente.
esto
Somos
también.
bastante perezosos para practicarlo una y otra vez, la pronunciación. Sí.
Sí.
Bueno, seguimos con Aryan.
Ujú.
Y para mí, mi salvavidas es memorizarlo, como, por ejemplo, tengo esta palabra aquí, pésimo, es pésimo, no pésimo, no pésimo. Mi profesora Leticia nos enseñó que hay que repetirlo una y otra vez, al menos, para entender cómo va el tilde, dónde va el tilde.
Sí, esa es una cosa que podemos enfocar. Bueno, dime la verdad, ¿ya suenas en español?
Ahora no, pero antes sí, cuando tenía muchos amigos y hablaba mucho con ellos, sí,
Ujú.
tenía sueño, así. Ahora
¿Puedes
no.
repetir la pregunta? No te escuché.
Ok, está bien. Dime la verdad, ¿ya sueñas en español?
Sinceramente, no. Yo no sueño en español, pero hay cosas o cosas que puedes relacionar con la cultura hispana que me ocurre en mis sueños.
Esa es la cosa que es similar con, en el caso mío. Pues
Ujú.
la última, para terminar, pues descríbeme tus viajes con el español en una sola palabra.
Podría decir transformación. Es que anteriormente estaba muy tímido. Era
Ujú.
muy tímido que podía hablar en frente de mis compañeros de trabajo, compañeros de como, clase. Y no tenía como, es muy mal, era muy mal ese tiempo. Ahora cuando yo recuerdo que esos momentos no tenía tanta coraje que podría ah, enfrentarlos a mis mismos compañeros de clase. Pero sí, después de aprender español, hablar con muchos amigos de España, ahora me siento más cómodo con español. Yo estoy muy cómodo, más de inglés, y me da mucha confidencia en esto. Por eso, transformación, yo digo.
Y para mí, yo diría que es uh, es un desastre, es un desastre porque he cometido tantos errores que el Dios no me puede salvar de español, pero sí, la profesora me ayuda a veces con todo lo que pueda hacer. Y sí, he sido un desastre, aunque he sido un poco más aventuroso que un desastre, yo diría que.
Pero en tus palabras, yo puedo sacar el significado. Es más que desastre, es una reconstrucción.
Sí,
Sí.
estoy de
¿Sí?
acuerdo.
Batman.
Desastre. Sí, esa es la cosa. Bueno, muchísimas
Es que
gracias.
soy un pesimista, no puedo ver las cosas, todas las cosas positivamente, solo lo puedo
Sí,
ver en el aspecto negativo. Es un desastre para mí, qué pena, Dios me salvo.
está bien, está bien.
Está bien, ¿no? Eso.
Ese es como funcionamos, ¿no? Bueno,
Sí.
eh, otra vez, muchísimas gracias a vosotros para darme esos tiempos. Yeah, Aura, I would pass it back to Akriti. Thank you so much, Akriti, for giving me this round.
Muchas gracias, Saurabh. That was very intense and very interesting to say the least. And yeah, a massive muchas gracias to both Rashid and Aryan for sharing their journey and very insightful and having a very insightful conversation with us. It was very fun, very informative, and I believe that everybody enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, thank you so much for giving us your time today. And thank you to everyone tuning in. Muchas gracias for tuning in and for listening to us and for following Circulo Castellano. Tune in and follow us for more of such episodes in the future. Buenas noches, nos vemos pronto. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Ha sido un placer.
Bye.
It's been a pleasure.